It's the fall season, and it's live here in New York City with Wearable Electronics and Becky Stern.
Welcome everybody to the show. It's September 17th, and we're getting ready for fall, which means Halloween.
That's right.
With me is Phil, Mr. Lady Ada himself. What's on today's show?
Well, on today's show, we have a few things. The code today is going to be Maker Faire. It's Maker Faire time, Becky.
Yay!
That's right.
Fall in New York City means Maker Faire and Halloween and everything that is good.
Yep. We're going to have Wearable Wednesday.
We're going to debut a Halloween tips costume video and talk about stuff at New York Fashion Week.
That's right. Component of the week.
We got some new wireless charging stuff.
Material spotlight.
We have some new 3D printer stuff.
That's right. I'll also talk about, if we remember when we get to that segment, something that happened today in 3D printing.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll like this. Question and answers.
If you have questions, we will answer them on a future show, and you will be eligible to win a prize. So you can ask your questions at any time during the show in the comments or on Twitter, on Google+, Facegram, to Snap, to Chat.
That's right.
When does this next season of Carrier Ravens start?
Oh, December 4th.
Three-eyed Ravens start on December 4th, and you'll be eligible to win a prize. Today's prize is a Flora microcontroller board.
Okay. All that more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Okay. All right, so let's do this first up.
All right, we're gonna pay some bills. So if you want to, if you want to buy any wearable electronics supplies for your Halloween costume, maybe you should use code Maker Faire, and you can get 10% off everything in the Flora and wearables category. All through today.
And there'll be Adafruit folks at Maker Faire, New York. Right now, MakerCon's going on. We can't be there because we're here doing this.
Yeah, you know.
And Maker Faire Saturday and Sunday, and you might see some of us around. We are going to see all the cool stuff. You and I both did our time running booths and running Maker Faires. It's now time to check out the Maker Faire as civilians.
Yes, I actually have Amazon Prime ordered a cane seat so that I can walk and then sit and then walk and then sit and then walk and then sit.
That's cool.
I'm excited to try it out at Maker Faire.
Yeah.
The only place on the earth that I don't feel weird about wearing any kind of crazy accessory, including cane stick. Anyway, we start out the show these days, we try to, with our new favorite segment called What Are You Wearing?
Yeah.
I already donned mine pre-show, but Phil likes to try to sneak his on during the slide cover.
That's right.
So Phil, what are you wearing?
Well, this is, if you look to the, I have a photo. So for a while I was trying to put together a lot of virtual reality rigs.
Yeah. And
so I was going through a lot of these types of VGA goggles, basically. So this is from Imagine, and it's another, you know how I showed the Sony ones a few weeks ago? It's just another version of that. And in the photo over there, you can see I had another one. This is just yet another kind of really dorky. I mean,
I love how the headphones stick out the side with the code.
It's okay. I mean, you know.
What year is this picture from, with Mr. Laptop strapped to your back?
I think I made that 11 years ago, or 12 years ago, and it was used to get inside a Second Life, and then
it looks like you're like walking around inside Second Life, right? You're trying to.
Yeah. And then this didn't really work out that well. The resolution was too low, and the goggles weren't that good, and
this is like an early riff on like the Oculus, or Oculus Rift is kind of where this kind of tech is at now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is maybe the great-great-grandfather of this stuff. Cool. Anyways, that's Imagine, and I don't know if they're still doing stuff.
I love the blast from the past. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
I'm just wearing a blast from last year's past. This is the Cyber Falls wig, which you can learn how to build on the Adafruit learning system with the tutorial by Phil B. I wore this last Halloween. I didn't do too much last Halloween. I went out to dinner at a sidewalk cafe and just wore this. And my friend wore the Triceratops mask, and we just sat and had a very normal dinner outside, getting lots and lots of compliments on our Halloween costumes.
That's
it was great.
Yeah.
This is a crowd pleaser. I think it would be really good for trick or treater, greeting trick or treaters. Even if you're not going anywhere, it makes a big impression pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks great.
And it's pretty easy to build, and uses some fun craft techniques.
Okay.
Awesome.
Next,
I'm gonna take it off now, though.
Wearable Wednesday. I'll do it in between the slides, so it'll be.
Okay, so it'll look like.
Oh,
it'll
look!
Look like magically, I just
editing.
Editing. Okay.
All right, this is a live show.
I'm having a good hair day, so I didn't want to wear it the whole show. Okay, so news. Every week on the Adafruit blog, we post up wearable news and projects that you guys are making, all kinds of stuff going on. So if you don't, if you're not a reader, you should be. So head over to the blog. This week, this is a Google Maps project. Those people at Google, they have so much fun. The thing is,
Yeah.
I work, you know how Google employees, they get like 20% of their time one day a week to work on like fun projects?
Yeah.
That's my job all the time, so I wouldn't want to go work at Google. But when people ask me, Becky, why don't you just go work at Google? I say, well, 20% is all my time.
You'd have to work on monetizing web pages for 80% of your time.
Oh, man.
And then 20% you can make a backpack that would do...
That would map the interior floor plans of this hotel in San Francisco. So this is a backpack for like scanning the insides of floor plans of buildings. So you can go, if you look at the blog post, you can go into the interactive Google Map layer and it'll let you look at the floor plan of all the different floors of this hotel.
That's cool.
I think that's pretty interesting. I've long wanted to know the floor plan of my apartment building just because I find it really interesting the way buildings are designed.
Yeah.
But using this backpack.
Okay,
So
next
that's
up.
cool. This is just a shot somebody grabbed at Burning Man. There's 2 floras, hats with floras. I love to see it. The dusty,
Yeah.
the like Adafruit electronics look really great covered in Burning Man playa dust. So
Yeah.
if you have a project that you made for Burning Man that we haven't seen yet because you like just finished it in time or you finished it there, we would love to see it. So you can send it in.
Next up.
This is a project by a grad student called Nicole Yee Messier in at Parsons, the program that I went to, the Design and Technology program. She made this bike helmet using a LilyPad MP3 and some other things, and it's a way to listen to music on your bike without while sort of mitigating the safety concerns of listening to music on your bike. So it
That's cool.
will lower the audio on the, well, first of all, it's not covering your ears. It's like they've got the speakers in the helmet, and then it'll lower the audio when you come to a stop. It's got an accelerometer in it so that you can pay attention if you're at an intersection, and then it'll lower the audio if there's something loud near you, like an ambulance.
Yeah, you know, the other thing you can do is potentially add more to this project and have a GPS, and it based on where you're at, you can have a playlist play.
Yeah.
So maybe there's certain areas where you know it's like maybe it's a big hill and you need like Eye of the Tiger, or like maybe there's chill areas, or maybe it could be a historic tour. So that's cool that like the smart helmets, which we've been experimenting with, which would tell you how to get to the city bike thing. This is cool. I like the idea of music being part of the helmet in a smart way.
You could try to use also the bone conductor speakers instead of these regular speakers, which that bone conductance headset that we took apart, and we carry the speakers in the store. They make sound. You can just press it up against your head. So that hat had it like underneath your bike helmet, or you could attach it to your bike helmet, so it plays the audio directly into your skull and not through your ears. Yeah. Cool project.
Next up.
Next up is Fashion Week. So we've got a couple designs from New York Fashion Week that have electronics in them, and that's cool because like usually it's none or one, and I have 3.
There's more and more electronics showing up in the fashion world.
Yeah.
And
you guys, if you put electronics in your fashion line and you want to invite me to your show, I'll come. That's Cute Circuit. Yeah. This one is the fiber optic dress is by Richard Nickel in collaboration with Studio XO, who has made those like couture Lady Gaga wearables, like the flying dress and the Rihanna sparkly bustier. Yep. So they're in London. That's cool. I always love to see. We've been featured on a couple things with them. I feel like we'd be friends if we met. And this is Pauline Van Doggen's new Philips lit jacket. So you might remember her solar panel dresses. And from last season. And this is her new line, and it's got the Philips flexible LED panels in it. I think it's the first like actual non-prototype garments we've seen with the Philips flexible LED panel, but I've seen anyway. Okay. Anyway, so those are your New York Fashion Week update. Yeah, I think at some point there'll be like multiple tracks at Fashion Week, and I think one of them is just going to be like straight up wearables. It'll probably be next year. That's my guess. Next year. So. I'm throwing down only because one we talked about last week. Like Apple's about to convince everybody that a $2,000 computer on your wrist is going to be okay soon. So like everyone's going to have to get in on that. By the way, that's some of the pricing that's starting to leak out. Looks like the really high-end luxury ones edition will be $1,000 or more. So this is more than just a phone on your wrist. They're actually adding all of the luxury, fashion-y, metal, valuable things that go along with things that normally didn't do much, jewelry. Besides. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fun to see all of the different manufacturing stuff come together.
Speaking of cool.
Maker Fairs this weekend, guys. I gotta say, like I saw all of the we both worked for Make for so many years and were involved in so many maker fairs that like I saw all my friends on Facebook. I log onto Facebook and I see everybody's got the out the plane window picture.
The great Maker Faire migration.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, all my friends are right maker fairs now. And whereas when we were working for them, we'd already be at the fairgrounds like setting stuff up. So it's nice to be able to kick back and take a break and just go and be a spectator.
Yeah.
And also get together with lots of. It's always a great reunion to see all the people on staff and the people exhibiting. So we're looking forward to checking it out this weekend.
Yeah, my favorite part of maker fairs was when you get a chance to hang out with the makers right before all the crowds show up. Because when you're running a maker fair, there's the Bay Area ones in particular, there's over 100,000 people, and you are not there to do anything other than run the fair. You just can't. And the event is so professionally put together, and it's so much fun, and it's so much fun for everybody there that you don't realize how fast it goes. Like you're there, and then it's Sunday night when you're managing it. But when you're an attendee, you really get a good view of what's going on in the world of Make. A couple of years ago, it was like all 3D printers. Yeah. Now you're seeing, lots of LED stuff. And
I heard there's going to be an Italian section.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I'm going to speak at Open Harbor Summit in Rome and at Maker Faire Rome coming up in a couple weeks.
It's going to be like Epcot Center where you just go to all the different country pavilions.
So I've got the Italians all reaching out to me being like, oh, come see our Fab Lab and whatever. And maybe we'll see you in New York. We'll be in the Italian section. So,
all right.
Buongiorno.
That's cool. Okay, you did some filming this week.
Yeah, on Monday we had this shoot with Donnie Jones, the former NFL linebacker for the Eagles and the Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals, who has his own show on the Travel Channel. It's called, oh shoot, what is it called? Donnie Tackles the World or something.
Yeah, probably.
Where he tries international sports.
Oh, that's cool.
I watched the episode where he was doing some dragon boat racing.
Okay.
He's doing this video series with CNN about all kinds of stuff, and he came here to film about making things and about integrating electronics into your daily life and your clothes. And we made that solar charging bag, and I made him this EL wire bow tie.
Yeah, he has a cool charity that allows people to purchase bow ties for a specific cause, and that's how they raise money. Very cool. And I think his friend had leukemia, perhaps, and that was one of the things that inspired him. So anytime there's a cool cause in a business, and then you electrified the bow tie. So very cool project.
So look for that. Video's not going to be out until like early next year, but we had a fun time.
Yeah, but you do have a video this week.
I do have a video this week. It's about Halloween costumes. Here's our setup. Yeah. It's about adding light, tips and tricks for adding light to your costumes.
Yeah.
You can just hit the video. Halloween is fast approaching, and I just know you'd love to add light to your costume. So today we're talking tips and tutorials for your own illuminated ensemble. The easiest way is with EL wire. Sew some onto a hoodie or attach it to a wire sculpture, plug in an inverter battery pack, and you're good to go. We made a video all about this stuff. You should watch it. Another easy way to add light to your costume is with ready-to-go LEDs. Wire light strands and latex ribbon don't require any additional wiring, and we've got a guide for a very simple LED and battery circuit that just about anybody could pull off. If you're willing to do a little microcontroller programming, the whole world of adjustable LEDs opens up to you. Adafruit has weather-resistant pixel strands, NeoPixel strips, rings, and other configurations for virtually any idea you can cook up. Clever diffusion is the name of the game when it comes to costumes and LEDs. You might want to spread out the light with some flexible filament for 3D printing, like in our Stego Spike hoodie or Cyberpunk spikes. The Adafruit blog is full of cosplay posts by our resident expert Amy Ratcliffe. There you can find an LED and acrylic Borderlands 2 sword and a resin Halo 3 energy sword with bubble wrap on the inside to diffuse the NeoPixels. Adafruit creative technologist Phil Burgess deserves a huge shout out for his LED costume work. Check out his tutorials for NeoPixel ring goggles, Larson scanner shades, Cyberfalls wig, and Bluetooth-controlled Guggen hat. He also shows you how to animate multiple LED matrix backpacks to make spooky faces.
What? I'm a Unix demon.
Natalie Walsh made this dress using fiber optics, which transfers light through thin filaments from a single light source. It's probably the most challenging material to work with on our list today. We've just scratched the surface of ways to add light to your costume, so give us a thumbs up if you'd like to see more on the topic. Then we can't wait to see your projects in the Adafruit forums and on our weekly Show and Tell Hangout on Google+. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more electronic costume techniques from Adafruit.
Okay, and we're back. All right, so you're getting people ready for Halloween.
Yep. So while you don't panic yet. It's still only the middle of
Should I panic?
September. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
No, don't panic. We just want to get lots of resources out there for Halloween so that when it's time to build your costume, you have a lot of places to look for ideas. And so if you think you or a friend might want to add some light to your costume, this is a good thing to start the gears turning about what you might want to do.
Okay, if you get ideas, reach for your wallet, but make sure you use this code. Don't spend unless you...
Don't pay full price for your Halloween supplies. Get
Yeah.
10% off in the wearables category this week with Code Maker Faire and every week on the day of the show.
Yeah. Okay, next up, component of the week. This is a new product.
Yeah, it's new products for both of these this week.
Yeah.
These are the Qi wireless charger receivers, and we have them in 4 orientations. They are an easy way to add wireless charging to your Arduino Raspberry Pi project or your cell phone. And they go on the standard Qi base.
Yeah.
We're working on getting those.
Yeah,
Right?
so if you already have one of these bases and you want to add wireless charging to anything, we have all the different permutations of the charging.
So they're different because there's 4 different kinds. There's 2 different lengths of cable, and there's 2 different connector orientations. So whether or not you want it to fold over and plug into your phone, if you're making it for an Arduino project, it probably doesn't matter which way it faces, but read the product description to see which one is best for your application. But otherwise, they do the same thing. They take the wireless energy and put it into your project. Usually, though, for wireless charging an Arduino Raspberry Pi project, you would want it to, instead of just running the project, you would want it to charge the battery that's attached to the project, and then so that when you take it away, it can run on battery power and you just don't have to plug it in.
Yeah.
Very cool.
One example I think that we'll see makers do is there's a lot of sculptures and cool things that you don't want to have wires and things coming out of it, so you can build a charger inside of it, rest it on there. When it's charged up, go and have it, dangling from a string or levitating or like whatever else, because you don't have to have anything. It also means you could seal it,
Right.
potentially. Okay. Next up, material spotlight.
It's a new product in a new permutation of a product we've had for a while now. I like how sometimes the GIFs from the site play like normal speed in Wirecast.
That's how
sometimes they
fast
play
Noah and
Magic.
Pedro actually move. That's how fast they move.
That is definitely true also.
Yeah.
So this is the Ninja Flex filament, which we've talked about before, and we have a video on it and a guide if you want to learn more about what you can do with it. But it's basically, you make flexible things with a 3D printer. We have a new color. This is silver.
Yeah.
Gold is coming in, November, I think, right? October, November. So on today's theme of, Halloween costumes, the silver Ninja Flex is going to be a really good way for you to make like spikes and like maybe horns and elements of like props like the ultrasonic ruler gun Noe and Pedro made last week, and also maybe like gauntlets. You can print out like a flat piece that has cool little weird designs and textures on it, and then it's flexy, so then you can kind of lay it over a more simple form on parts of your costume and build up like armor or control panels or all kinds of cool looking things.
Yeah.
And then also if you make spiky elements to your costume with the Ninja Flex, they're not dangerous. They smush, so if you were like at a comic convention or something or a party or a concert, you wouldn't put your neighbors at risk in a crowd. So I love this stuff. I think it's really cool. I think this Halloween we're going to see a lot of people do some cool stuff with it, and you can pick it up in the Adafruit shop now.
So 2 bits of news. One, Google whatever for Ninja Flex. You'll see their new site. They kind of have a whole site dedicated to the Ninja Flex stuff. But
right, because they're made by this company, Fenner Drives, that makes like timing belts and all kinds of stuff, and they recognize that this flexible 3D printing thing is a hit product, and they want to make sure you can wrap your head around it as easy as possible.
Yeah. So check that out because they have Adafruit in the case study. And the other thing that happened, and this happened today, is Dremel at MakerCon announced that they have a 3D printer.
That's cool.
So Dremel, we've used Dremels all the time for things, have a little 3D printer. So, check it out. It's getting interesting. I don't know the details. I think it's $1,000. I don't know all the different types of filament. It just happened like right before we got on the show.
News. You heard it here first or maybe second.
Yeah. But you're going to save money here first, again.
Cool segue.
Yeah.
Code today is Maker Faire. You can get 10% off in the Flora and Wearables category. Get a head start on your Halloween costume by getting 10% off.
Okay. Let's answer some questions, Becky, but I really need to know What is the prize?
You can win a Flora.
Me?
Those
I
not you.
plan.
You could go get a Flora from the shelf if you would. You could have this Flora. If you
I've found Floras in the washing machine.
Yes.
I've stepped on Floras
me
at
too.
home. I found a SIM card. I was doing Lamore's laundry, and a SIM card fell out of the dryer.
Yeah, I lead a similar life.
It's like, oh, there's a SIM card.
So,
Where'd that come from?
the people whose questions are answered today will be eligible to win the Flora. If you would like to win a prize in the future or just have your question answered on the show, you can leave it at any time in the comments on this video, on Google+, on the blog, on Twitter. I gather
Okay.
your questions from everywhere. I'm listening and watching.
Okay.
And I'll queue them up for a future show. I do prepare. Somebody asked, they're like, oh, I asked it too late in the show. We don't answer the
okay.
questions
It's
live.
okay.
I queue them up for the future so that I can actually prepare an intelligent answer for you and think about your question.
Okay, next up. Can this be done with Gemma? Short answer is yes. That's what I just answered
What
after.
can you do with the Gemma?
I don't know what he's asking,
GPS,
but yes.
you can't do with Gemma.
GPS.
This is the Flora. Speaking of Ninja Flex, this is the Flora running band with the accelerometer, so it's motion activated. This Kyle is asking if you can use the accelerometer with the Gemma. And while Gemma, of course, we know runs NeoPixels, it doesn't always work with all of the I2C sensors. Sometimes the libraries are too complicated, take up too much memory, or fundamentally won't work with the Gemma or Trinket microcontrollers. But this one, we have seen examples in the wild. We don't have a project with the LSM303 accelerometer working on Gemma or Trinket, but we know other people have done it. We know the library will work, but it might need some changes. So look for examples out there in the wild, and hopefully soon enough we'll have an example. So yeah, it should be okay. Try it.
Okay, next up, this is from Virgil. Becky, I asked at the end of the comments, but I'm not too late to see it. Nope, we got it. Do you have suggestions on making a circuit small enough to get into a toy? I have a prototype working with great help from Adafruit support Bill. That's Bill in the forums. Playing music from an SD card while moving a servo. This would replicate a wind-up I bought for my daughter 36 years ago. I need to get the microcontroller, probably a Pro Mini, maybe a Trinket Pro. The SD card, the speaker, Adafruit small plastic speaker, the mini servo components, 2 resistors, capacitor, 2 transistors, a battery pack, and wires into a stuffed donkey, 12 inches, nose to tail. Am I dreaming? My fallback is I can have it in a donkey pull cart holding some of the electronics.
I think that's a cute idea. So what I like about your thinking is that you've got a backup plan, and that's a great backup plan. And I might even start there. Start with the cart and then see if the whole cart fits inside the donkey.
Don't put the cart before the donkey.
No, definitely not. But maybe in this case, make the cart.
Put the cart after
If
the
you've
donkey.
ever taken apart a plush toy that has electronics inside it, you'll see that they all have these really super child-proof enclosures inside. And so I would, I don't know, you're talking about making it into a toy, but you bought a wind-up toy for your daughter 36 years ago, so maybe she's not a kid anymore, and you're trying to replicate a thing. If it's for an actual child, I would a little kid, you got to be really careful about what that kid can rip off and put in its mouth. But if you're just trying to get it all in there, you might not have to put it in a box, and you probably could fit all of those things you said inside a 12-inch toy donkey. You just have to take out some of the stuffing and carefully pad around it. But if you've never done anything like that before, I'd recommend you get a cheap electronic plush toy from Target or the thrift store or the dollar store and take it apart and see how it's made. And then you'll actually learn a lot about how those kinds of things are all married together, and you'll get some ideas. But you could 3D print an enclosure and design it to be really snug and hold all of your components with screws apart from each other. You could go albeit a little riskier route of taping up all of those boards with gaff or electrical tape and kind of just embedding them in the plush. And the other option that you've already said is a great idea, to have it on the outside and connected through with a wire harness of some kind. That way you're not as space limited. And then this picture is just if you want to look at how we embedded the Gemma circuit inside the plush owl toy. There really wasn't a lot of space in there, but we did it.
Okay.
You can take a look at it. There's also a guide by Mike Barilla for the Trinket servo. It's got a Beanie Baby.
Who will be here tonight on the Show and Tell and Ask an Engineer.
I forgot again to put the teaser slides for this.
It's okay.
I'm just going to put them in
It's
the
all good.
template.
Next up, hey Becky, I was wondering what the max number of NeoPixels running on 3.7 volts for per Trinket. Also, is it possible to switch the Velostat and the Firewalker with piezo element for more of a shoe tap than a step?
So your first question, the number of NeoPixels on any platform is limited by 2 things. The amount of memory that platform has and how you are animating them. For instance, setting them all equal to one color takes up less memory than drawing a picture. and how you power them. So any individual Arduino pin can only provide not that many 200, 500 milliamps of power, so you can't power very many directly off of an Arduino pin. If you have an external power supply, you can power as many as your microcontroller can talk to. So several hundred is the answer, as long as you power it correctly with a battery or AC adapter that matches. We have a guide in the Adafruit learning system for that. And for your second question, it is possible to switch the Velostat and the Firewalker sneakers easy, in fact, with a piezo for that would be pretty cool. I would like to see light up tap shoes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Piezos are really cool because they make noise. They translate electrical energy into vibration, but they also can do the other way around, translate vibration into electrical signal. And in our MIDI drum glove project, which you can look up on the Adafruit learning system, you can grab that sample code that uses the piezo as a tap sensor, grab that part of the code and inject it into the Firewalker sneakers and make Firewalker tap shoes.
Okay, if you make Firewalker tap shoes, send us a video.
I would love to see.
We'll make it worth your effort. Next up, this is from Kelly. I want to use this on a Halloween costume. If I need to cut it and have enough left, how would I use the remaining piece of EL wire on another project?
So Kelly, if you left this comment on the EL wire video, then you should just watch later in the video where
maybe there was a commercial and she's like, oh, it's over.
That video shows you how to solder to EL wire, and that's what you do. So our EL wire comes as shown with a connector on the end, but if you attach it to your project and then you cut off the extra and the extra doesn't have a connector, you can attach a new connector. I have another picture of how to solder to EL wire. So our video and our guide in the Adafruit learning system both show you the technique for soldering to a piece of EL wire. However, you cannot solder to an extra piece of EL tape or panel. They have a special material around the connector that doesn't exist in the middle of the strip or the panel. So if you cut, that's why our EL panel comes with two connectors, one on each end, so you can cut it in half and use both sections, but you can't use a leftover section. But EL wire, yes, you just solder to it using our guide.
Okay, this is a question for Becky about wearables. With this EL wire on the rise, it would be nice to incorporate microcontroller sequences. As of now, you can only see this in performance shows like Wrecking Orchestra or iLuminate. You just went to that. From what I can find on the internet, to purchase as a sequencer with only 8 channel output, would it be possible to make those with 4, 8, 16, 32 channel outputs for different types of ranges of projects? If not, let's help make this happen. And also, can we see an instructable for using and programming sequences of EL wire?
So we saw the most tangible example of this I have in my memory is Diana Eng's fashion show when she was working at iBeam on her fairy tale fashion line. She used SparkFun's EL sequencer, which I think is probably the one you're talking about. Seed Studio makes one too. We've talked about this on previous shows, why we don't make EL sequencers. It's because the EL wire is very high voltage, and although it's not dangerous specifically, it's not going to kill you, it could hurt you.
Yeah.
I've shocked myself with EL wire before, and it's not pleasant. And if you have those bare AC, high voltage, low current connections on a circuit board, it's really easy to accidentally short them and cause a spark at the very least, shock yourself.
Yeah.
And we don't think it's really that great for beginners. So the people who like iLuminate and I've never seen this other one, Wrecking Orchestra.
Yeah, they're professionals. They actually have trained people. There's a lot of engineering that goes into it.
And their dancers are, insured.
Yeah, they came not too long ago and visited. And do check out iLuminate, and you'll also see they did a video made with code.
Yeah.
And you can see what goes into some of this stuff, and it's intense. So this is why it's not exactly, consumer friendly yet. It's a lot of engineering goes into it. So
it's just sketchy, and we don't want to. And we're focused on other much more clear cut, less sketchy things. And
yeah, the expectation is it just works when you get it from Adafruit, and so the EL sequencers don't just work yet. They're not ready yet.
Right, and we're scared that we might let you shock yourself, and we don't want that to happen, so that's why we don't make them. But if you get the one from SparkFun or Seed Studio, and you have 8, you can use it for fewer channels, and then
it's probably
you
fine.
just have to add another one of those boards if you want more. So it is possible with with even the open source hardware that's out there now. We just don't have any plans to make anytime soon.
Not yet. Next up, I always iron my shirts up for washing them because they are too crumpled. Will the heat of the iron damage the EL wires?
This was a question on our washing wearables video, and we did put this Tron hoodie with EL wire through the washing machine and the dryer, and it came out fine.
Yeah.
The hoodie shrunk a little, but the EL wire was totally fine. So the thing I would be worried about with your iron is just that the metal is very hot and could scorch the plastic that's the sheathing of the EL wire. The heat itself and the moisture certainly won't get in, so I don't think that's a problem. So what I would do is either iron it underneath another piece of fabric, like a scrap piece of fabric or a pillowcase. You can run the iron over it, or just use a steamer or the steam function on your iron and hang it. But the heat itself, I think, is okay. Just like the same reason you wouldn't put your EL wire like on the stove while you were cooking, because it's made of plastic and it'll melt at a certain temperature. But just heat and steam for ironing your clothes should be okay. I mean, we put ours in the dryer, for Christ's sake.
Okay. All right, it's giveaway time, Becky.
Oh, okay. I have the giveaway potential winners in my hat. We'll pick one. That person will win a Flora. If you have a question, you can ask it in the comments. I'll answer it next week or the week after.
Who won?
The winner today is Whaler MC, who was asking about the max number of neopixels on a trinket and using
Whaler
piezo.
MC's in the chat too.
Oh, congratulations.
Live. So
that
this
means
worked
I
out
don't
great.
have to send you an email. You can just email support@adafruit.com to claim your prize.
That's right. Congratulations.
And, which is a Flora. So you can use that for your new Firewalker sneakers with piezo modification, and I would love to see that. Super
Okay.
cool. Congratulations.
That's it for the show, Becky.
Yay. If you want to start on your Halloween costume now, you can get 10% off any of your materials by using code MAKERFAIR. I also hope that you will come say hi if you see us at Maker Faire. I might have some stickers or something with me. And if you have a project to share, you can always come and show it in our show and tell, which is on Wednesdays at 7:30 on Google Hangouts on air. So if you want to have a project to show and you're not already in the show and tell circle, all you have to do is leave a comment to request to be added. Then you'll be invited every week, whether you have a project or not, and you can choose to join and show off your project. Noe and Pedro are there. Tony Nicola comes sometimes.
Phil B.
Phil B. It's a fun time. That's tonight at 7:30. And then after that, you can stick around for Ask an Engineer.
Yep.
We'll have another, who's on tonight's
Special
show?
guest, Mike Barella, author of Getting Started with Adafruit Trinket. He'll be at Maker Faire. He'll also be here tonight.
Super cool.
Okay.
So thanks for watching. We'll be here again
That's the
next
show.
week, hopefully with some post-Maker Faire stories,
That's right.
more Halloween stuff.
More things I bought that I probably shouldn't have, that I wore on my body that were electronic.
More retro fill computing.
Yeah, retro fill computing. All right.
Have a good week.
See everybody next week.